Welcome back to summer school. Today's lesson will break down travel hacking lingo so you can be well equipped to start your journey towards free flights, hotels, and the bucket list trips of your dreams.
Welcome to the Travel More podcast.
Each episode, we share custom itineraries, travel hacks, expert advice, and even stories of our past travel failures to help you level up your travel game.
I'm Shelly, a lover of plans, itineraries, and cheap flights. I'm an expert deal finder with one eye always on the budget.
And I'm Bruce, the improviser, ready to pick up where plans fail to turn letdowns into unexpected trip favorites. We're here to bust through barriers that stop you from making your travel dreams a reality.
So book that flight, buy the tickets, and say hello to your next adventure.
This is the Travel More podcast.
Welcome back to the Travel More podcast.
Summer School Lesson 2.
Part 2.
Today we're going to be talking all about travel hacking. But before we start, I do want to say again, we cannot believe this happened twice, but thank you so much to Barry from Mississippi for supporting our show through our Support the Show link. It really helps us bring episodes like this to you, so we cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
Thanks so much, Barry.
So, travel hacking, like most hobbies, kind of comes with its own lingo. Whenever you start to talk to people in the points and miles world, it can quickly feel like they're talking in a foreign language.
Tell me about it.
I was going to
That's
say,
how I feel.
Yeah, Bruce has only heard me talk in this quote-unquote foreign language for about a year now.
I'm lucky to have a translator in Shelly.
Yeah,
So.
and we're here to do that for you. So we'll be doing some 5 travel hacking episodes during summer school, and this is the very first installment.
So we're going to break down all these really important words that I think once you get a grasp on this, you'll be ready for the rest of those lessons we're doing in the future.
And we will be including just a quick kind of, not worksheet, but like a cheat sheet at the end in our show notes. So if you need that, don't worry. Don't feel like you need to take notes.
No, put your notebooks away.
Yeah.
I know it's summer school, but relax. We'll break it down. You can read about it later.
Yeah.
So why don't we jump into the first word we've got, which is redemptions. And probably the most used and exciting word, because ultimately that's what we're going for in travel hacking. And this is really just how you can or are going to spend your earned points and miles.
Yeah, redemption. So next one, cent per point. Often written as CPP. So if you see that, that's what that meant. And this is how much value you're getting from a redemption. So for example, Capital One Purchase Eraser gives you 1 cent per point. So 10,000 points is $100 of value. This is the bare minimum I would ever look for in a redemption. You can get as good as 5 or even 10 cents per point on an amazing redemption. But that's what you're looking for, is that cent per point.
All right, next up we've got player 1 and player 2. And usually this refers to like a married couple like me and Shelly. But it just is referring to who in your household can open cards and combine points.
That's going to be really important because you won't necessarily be opening the same card. So it is really important kind of to figure out who is your player 1 and player 2 in your life. And do you have one? But you don't have to have one to have a really successful travel hacking game.
Yep.
But if you do have one, they can be a great asset.
Next up is transfer partners. So these are companies that pair with credit card companies so that you can transfer your credit card miles and use them as loyalty points in hotel and airline companies. So for example, you can transfer both Capital One and Chase points into JetBlue. And when you do that, you usually get a better redemption rate. Remember, that's your cent per point or CPP than erasing or buying through a portal.
We actually just did this to go to London. We would have gotten with Capital One 1 cent per point, which would have made our tickets to London each about 65,000 points, and instead we were able to transfer points into JetBlue, the same points, but just transfer them into JetBlue, and we paid about 41,000 per point, 41,000 per ticket for the exact same flight. So definitely important to look at those transfer partners, which we will get into what that means a little later.
Okay, so our next word is portals. And these are where you can book flights, hotels, rental cars, etc. through the credit card rewards portal. And this is something that Shelly and I pretty much recommend that you don't do unless you have a credit to use or you get some amazing deal. They have some iffy reviews, especially not buying air tickets.
Yeah, I'd almost never recommend buying third-party air tickets ever, because you want to have full control. There's so many delays that can happen. You can miss a connecting flight, and you don't want to have to deal with that at the airport and on the phone with Chase or Capital One or whoever. Like, you just don't want to do that. So definitely try to not book things through portals, especially airplane tickets, unless
you have like a credit. So our Capital One Venture card, we get a $300 credit a year, but we have to book through the portal.
Yes.
So that's a time when we would do that to take advantage of it.
And that we're really going to try to book hotels or rental cars if possible.
Yeah, those are a little more safe around.
Yeah, exactly. And also that's the Venture X card, just as a reminder.
Sorry, Venture X. Thank you.
Our next thing we're going to talk about is different types of currency in the points and miles world. So the first one is called flexible currency. You'll hear that thrown around a lot. And these are credit cards that offer multiple transfer partners. So we just talked about what a transfer partner was. This is where you can do multiple transfer partners, not just one. And these are Chase, Capital One, Amex, Citi, your big players in the credit card world.
So we've got flexible currency, but also fixed currency. So these are branded cards like Southwest, Hyatt, etc. They only earn points or miles with that specific company, but usually come with other benefits like status.
Which we will talk about a little later. These are not your main players, which again, we'll get to a little later. Speaking of status, that's our next word. So status is the level of consumer you are to the company. Historically, it's from spending a lot of money at the company, but now you can earn status kind of cheating your way there through certain credit cards, like high annual fee credit cards, promos, and status matching, which is like when you have status with one company and another company says they'll give you that same level of status to entice you to spend money there instead.
This feels kind of like a pay-to-win video game somehow.
A little bit. A little bit. Sometimes it is.
So, for example, our Marriott Bonvoy card gives us automatic silver status, which isn't much, but it's also 15 nights towards that status level, and we would only need 10 more nights to hit gold, which would give us late checkout, upgrades, and the ability to earn points even faster.
Right, because we're never going to stay probably 25 nights at a Marriott, but we may stay 10, and to get that gold with only 10 nights is a pretty awesome benefit.
Yeah, and I mean, another example too, some of these status things do come with the cards that have annual fees, but you really start to see the value come back to you when you consider some of these aspects.
Yeah.
On our Venture X card, we get gold status.
President's Circle.
Actually, President's Circle, excuse me. President's Circle for Hertz, which is really cool. I think the last time Shelly and I were in Florida, I could literally walk off the plane, go to Hertz, and walk up to like a Porsche and just like take it out.
Porsche may be pushing it.
Listen,
but
I'm not going to maybe one time.
It did say just like get in a car and go.
Car.
We're like, okay, that seems too easy.
So anyway, status.
Yeah, status can be really nice, and not only nice, like it makes you feel cool and like you're a baller traveler, but it also can save you a lot of money. Like we were just talking about those late checkouts and upgrades, free breakfast, those kinds of things.
All right, so this last word we've got, probably one of the most important.
Yeah, definitely the most important to keep in mind.
Yes. So it's minimum spend, which is the money you need to spend to get the points bonus when you open up a card.
There you go. I was going to say, we might want to explain that, anytime you open up a card, it'll say, earn this many points for opening up this card.
Right.
So we mean how much money do you need to spend to get that? Because there's always a spending minimum.
Right. And this is the whole game, or like a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Is opening up a new card, thinking back. So we talked about player one, player two. So different cards, who's using their credit to do that. Mm-hmm. And then most importantly, keeping track of, is it 3 months? You've got to spend so much money to get the bonus. Because if you miss that, man, that's a fail.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much the biggest fail you can do in the credit card world, except paying interest, which is the 100% way to to make this dangerous as a hobby.
Yeah, so we always talk about that. So, and again, we're not financial advisors or anything. This is just our experience. And when you do it right, though, you get so much value. But you really want to watch out for that. You don't want to be carrying balance on these cards.
And you don't want to miss that minimum spend sign up.
So, there you go.
So I know it's a lot in a short amount of time, and you're thinking like, okay, well, that's just the beginning. And you're right. That is just the beginning. This is only the first episode in a kind of 5-part series within the summer school series that we're going to be talking about travel hacking. So if you are excited because now you understand all the lingo, stick around because it's going to be even better. We're going to teach you how to build your wallet over time, teach you how to earn points, and of course, spend points. So stick around for that throughout our summer school series.
And if you've been able to use any of this, you've got to let us know. Or even better, join our exclusive Facebook community and share tips and tricks or ask questions to fellow travelers. We're there to help each other make travel dreams a reality and hope to see you there.
Join us next week on our summer school to see if airport lounges are really worth it. And if so, how do you get in?
See you next time.
Bye. Did you know that every time you book a Disney or Universal vacation, you're paying for a service that you may not even be using?
Really?
That's right. Travel agent costs are added to your Disney or Universal vacation, whether you use one or not.
So you're telling me that I'm paying for something even though I'm not getting the help?
You got it. So next time you want to book a theme park vacation, make your money work for you. By booking with Magic Pass Travel, you'll get our expertise and years of experience without paying any extra and while supporting a small business.
Check out our show notes to find our contact information.
Can't wait to help you plan your next adventure.